You better watch your mouth, Crowley, or I'll put a window in your head.
Just don't rub my scales the wrong way.
Backlash. Oblivion 2.
Welcome to The Good, the Bad, and the Sequel. This is the movie podcast where we're talking sequels, and we do it in two parts. The first, an interview with an actor or someone involved that made the film worth watching, and the second, a discussion of the sequel, what they got right, what they got wrong, and how it could have been better. Really hope you enjoyed last week's interview with number one on the call sheet, director Sam Irvin. It was so cool to talk about his journey growing up as a kid with his father and grandfather owning competing cinemas, and then him traveling out to California and actually seeing a scene shot for a movie. And then just his book, I was a teenage monster hunter, and his encounters with Vincent Price, Christopher Lee, you name it, he's talked to him or he's directed him, especially Elvira. Like right after I talked to him a few weeks back, he was going back to Romania and actually visited the set of the movie that we're talking about this week, of Oblivion 2 Backlash. But it was him and Cassandra Peterson and 30 people from America visiting all the sites from Elvira's Haunted Hills. Great stuff. Sam was awesome. Check out his Hallmark movie. I have it on sequelsonly.com/Sam Irvin. He has so many flicks. You got to check it out. But yeah, I'm excited to talk about this movie because I didn't ask Sam when I talked to him, but it's very Twin Peaks-ish. And there's a character from Twin Peaks in it. And there's Twin Peaks in this that I enjoy in Lash. But before I talk about it anymore, I got to introduce you to my partner in the sequel watching journey, Jamie Riccardi. Jamie, how are you?
I'm doing okay, Doug. How are you doing?
Pretty good, man. I like movies like this, and I think you enjoy movies that have like these random people in it because you're one of those people, you watch a movie like me and like Sam when he talked about it, like he loved casting, whether it be guy at the end of the bar, it's like a person that we know. So it's like sort of like Sharknado-ish when you have all these like people that you know. Like you had like George Takei as like a Southern cowboy.
I couldn't understand a word he said most of the movie.
I think that was the bit, because even in the first one, you could like barely hear him because he was like drunk the whole time. Maybe really drunk. I don't know.
Well, all right. And I know this is not going to be a surprise, but how long have we been doing this podcast?
Well, you should know. Are you asking?
No, I'm asking
like
you.
One of those rhetorical questions?
Yeah. Yes. So we've been doing it for a long time.
We've done it for over 4 years.
Okay. And how many movies would you say we've done?
We've done easily probably like 120-ish.
Okay. So I would say that we're doing pretty good, right? I mean, we're doing it for a long time. We got a nice following. We've done Aliens, and we've done Die Hard 2, and we've done all these great movies.
Munchie Strikes Back. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. 4 years later, and we're doing Oblivion 2. This movie was so awful.
What?
Awful. I mean, you know what this movie reminded me of? It's like I felt like I was watching The Surreal Life on VH1, and like I know like the Jersey Shore, like they would have to work at the store and be on the show. I felt like they were forced to do this movie because they're all living together in The Surreal Life, all these B actors, and they were forced to do this campy, crappy movie, which. I mean, it was it looked like it was made in 1982, but it was made in 1996, right?
Yeah, I think that's when it came. They filmed both of them back to back in like 93.
I honestly thought it was awful. I was not entertained. I have no idea what the plot is, and I didn't like it.
Well, you don't like a lot of movies.
No, I don't like a lot of movies, but this one, to me, this one being ranked high again. I always go back to the Son of the Mask. This was, I think, ranked like 35 on Rotten Tomatoes, and
nice.
Son of the Mask is under 10. I would rather watch Son of the Mask.
Yeah. There's no Lash in Son of the Mask.
I know. Oh, yeah, but there's the Nosy Neighbors.
That's the one time I laughed. But, well, before we get too into this, and I try to convince Jamie otherwise, I feel like I'm a lawyer. I am like the defense attorney for these movies. and I wear that badge proudly, sir.
Yeah. Okay. And before you get to our guest, I get it, and I get the type of movie it is. I think Sharknado was more entertaining. Like I had a real rough time watching this one. This was rough.
Yeah.
But okay, go ahead.
It was like Twin Peaks. I liked it.
No.
And yeah. So our guest, he hasn't been here in a while. It's so funny. This is my favorite thing when we have people back that have been with us for a while, is trying to remember the movies. And I think Nick's is really easy because I feel like I picked the best
The
ones
worst?
for him.
So-
Well, yeah. So Nick, Munchie Strikes Back. Piranha 2 is the most recent. He did Cannonball Run 2, which is pretty.
Okay.
That was a pretty great one.
That's a great one.
Oh God, there's more, Nick. What's another? Did we do another?
Yeah, we did Rocky 4.
Oh, Rocky
Oh,
5. Wait,
wait.
whoa.
Oh,
Okay,
five.
hold
Wait,
on. Let's not get
5.
crazy.
Oh, wait.
Hold
Rocky
on.
5.
We would not give you Rocky 4. So you get Rocky 5. Let's
Yeah.
I feel
Is
You're
that it?
lucky you got Cannonball Run. Okay, so you know.
yeah. Oh, and Halloween. Resurrection.
Oh, and Halloween Resurrection. Great. We give them the good ones, man.
Yeesh.
Nick, how you doing?
Good, Doug, Jamie. I'm happy to be back. When you told me I was doing Oblivion 2, I thought they had made a sequel to the Tom Cruise movie, so I was like, "Oh, cool." And then I saw the poster, and I was like, "This is not the Tom Cruise movie." Yeah,
That would have been great. That would have been cool.
Yeah, Doug, like you said, it's like very Twin Peaks. It felt like David
Very
Lynch
Twin
was
Peaks.
like the studio was like, David Lynch, we want you to direct a cowboy western epic, but make it in the vein of like these old Adam West Batman TV show. Like do that. And it would have been a home run if that was the case.
Julie Newmar in this movie, and again, at this point, obviously, it's not like we're talking about a movie that came out today, but that's still like what 27 years ish that Batman was off the air, like the original series. She still looks great.
She still looked really good.
Like,
yeah.
Like
She
unreal.
does. But okay, but this movie was made in 1996, and it does have that Batman.
Wait, this was made in 96?
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought,
Yes. That's what I'm saying. So it has
Oh.
the Batman feel to it. That the entire look, the budget was only about $2 million. Like I
yeah.
looked it up.
They shot
So
it
it
back
was
to
a cheap
back, yeah.
Well, I think that was being generous. It looked like the budget might have been like 500,000. That's like
They built that set. They built that set as an investment to use, and it's been used in TV shows and movies.
Oh, shocker! Because everything like shook when they walked around and fell apart. I think I think again the costumes it looked like they were going. It looked like a Halloween party. Like some of the outfits that everybody was wearing made no sense to the characters that they were, and it just looked. I really felt like I was watching like a Halloween party and just people like putting on a play.
Yeah. It
That's
felt
what
like
it
a
looked
really bad acid trip.
Oh, I
I
take a
welcome
bad
it.
as a trip over this.
Yeah, Isaac Hayes was in this.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Okay, he played what, a bellhop at a bar?
that's where the
I
budget
don't know
went.
what he was. I don't
He was
know
a
what he
bellhop.
was because I thought, it was weird his role. That he seemed like he wasn't a bartender at the bar poker room.
No, but he wore the bell hat. You know, the hat of the bellhop. He had that little circle hat. Which,
Yeah.
Okay, first of all, do they have bellhops? Like, have you ever seen a bellhop before?
At hotels, yeah.
Yeah, hotel.
You
Yeah.
have?
Yeah.
You've seen
Yeah.
bellhops.
Yeah,
Yeah. Bring your bags to the room.
I
and
have
stuff?
never seen a bellhop first, and they're wearing a little hat on top of their head.
yeah.
I mean, they were. Well,
No
I mean,
way.
So.
Yes.
Then okay.
Fancy,
They don't wear the
smancy
little hat.
places. I
There's
walked in.
I'm not rich like you, so maybe that's what
No,
it
I
is.
just went in there to use the bathroom. I just saw them. He's like, "Sir, can I take your bags?" I'm like, "Yeah, hold this for a second." And I walked in the bathroom, and walked out.
Why do you think their hat is so small? Like it really it looks like I don't understand. Like what do you think that concept is? And it's got the rubber band on it, right? So it's a hat
Well, I
with a
think
little
it's
rubber band.
status. I think it's status. When you first get hired, it's a really, really tiny hat. When you're training, it's like a little tiny, like Dixie cup hat. And then the more every year they give you a size up.
Okay.
And then that's why if you ever see somebody walking around with a lampshade in their head, they're top rank.
Are these the same people that have the bellhops in their hotel? Because I've never seen anyone walking around with a lampshade either.
They put them upstairs. That's only for VIPs.
Oh,
And
they're in
cut
the
hole
presidential
it.
suite. They're in
They
the suite.
cut the hole in
Okay.
it, almost like in like Fat Albert.
Okay.
Great. Did you see who the villain was in this movie?
Okay.
The guy who
What,
was
you mean
like,
Who played
Grease too?
Jaguar? No,
I
no.
thought you
Well,
meant-
not Maxwell Caulfield. I guess he was sort of a villain at one point, but Andrew Divoff, who was he was the villain in a ton of movies, but I remember him from Toy Soldiers, the Sean Astin, Will Wheaton movie. He plays the bad guy in that one, the main terrorist. He was the guy under that makeup in these movies.
oh, he was Jaguar.
Yeah, he was Jaguar, and then spoiler, if you saw the first one, Nick can attest because you watch it. He's Red Eye. They're the
Yeah.
same person.
Why did you have
Wait.
me? Why did you have me watch the first one when I could have just watched the first 15 minutes of this movie?
Oh, okay. Wait. Okay. I have never seen it.
I was like, wait,
Okay.
what?
I've never watched the movie where the movie plays for 10 minutes before it starts. It literally was 10 minutes and then the first scene started.
I was waiting for it to
You're
end, and
caught
I
up
was
now.
like,
You're caught up, Jamie.
I am so caught up.
Who wants to watch 10 minutes of a movie that they already saw?
Well, you didn't
think-
see it yet, so you didn't know it yet.
And
so that's
there's a
good.
reason why I didn't see it again. So I don't need, like, if I'm trying to avoid a movie in the first place, I don't need 10 minutes before the movie that I'm paying to see to watch it again.
But then you learn about Zach's dad getting shot.
I learned about George Takei's alcohol problem,
Yes,
And
and,
the
he
way-
says,
and the-
"Jim, beam me up, Scotty."
and he
Oh,
threatens
how
to
many-
shoot. He threatens to shoot the girl, and she's like coffee, and he's like, "Just give me the booze."
The fact that they do all these throwbacks to their old characters,
Yeah,
I mean, the fact that Miss Kitty scratches.
Oh, so many, and I love it. It's great. 9 lives. I even wrote down. I'm like, oh, she has 9 lives, and I'm like, oh, I guess her 9 lives are up.
All right. But again, it was 10 minutes, literally, until the first scene.
yeah.
Which I have queued up, so if people are watching or listening, you can hear who I'm gonna be drooling over for the next. And of course, I'm talking Lash. You see Sam Irving, who is in the opening scene of the movie. Sam puts himself in the movies, and this is him, who walks in, the cowboy.
Okay, look at the outfits they're wearing. It literally is go to the closet, take whatever you can to put on, and come on the set.
I know, it's like creating like a dystopian future, but that's Sam.
That's-
How great is that?
I wouldn't do that if I were you.
See, that's a bellhop hat.
Oh man, he doesn't care. He doesn't care what Isaac Hayes says. And look at the size of that lighter, man.
Look at the size of that
Nervous
earring.
my eyebrows are gone. That's serious.
And look, what are those goggles? Like, literally, he put together his outfit in the back
Oh.
room.
I thought he was starting to dance.
Woo!
Oh,
Those things will kill you.
And it's like an anti-smoking ad. Look at that. She's killed 15 people that were gonna die probably 40 years later of lung cancer.
she's very Rose McGowan-ish.
Oh yes.
No,
Yeah.
way
Great
better than
comparison.
Rose McGowan.
Wait, I don't know. I liked Rose McGowan.
Rose McGowan in the wrestling movie, Ready
Yes.
to Rumble.
Ready to
Peak-
Rumble, yeah.
Peak Rose McGowan. But yeah, now let's talk about this movie. But yeah, so then you get some people that that's what again. There's so many people in this movie you know from other things, like Meg Foster who plays Stell. I just saw her in They Live, and she's in so many other things over the years. But yeah, so we get
She has that creepy look though because her eyes are so blue. It's like,
Yeah.
and I remember her from They Live. I mean, like that was, yeah, she's. And wasn't she on like a Star Trek or something like that? I think
She
was
looked like
in-
she was a Star Trek.
She looks like. Okay,
Yeah.
first of all,
Yeah.
very
this show,
Star Trek.
this movie looks like a Star Trek series. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't look like a movie. It looks like it's made for sci-fi as a TV series.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like-
no, you're right. No, you do definitely get those vibes. I agree with you. But no, yeah, I don't know what show she was. She wasn't on V. Was she on V in the 80s? That big
Maybe.
show that Robert Englund was on? And like
She
all
looks
those
like
people
she's in
first
like a
were-
lot of alien stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, but her eyes, you're right.
That-
Like in They Live, when you see her eyes, even though
Yeah.
I've seen it a bunch of times, you're like, oh, she's just because of the eyes, like the way. And then she throws Piper out the window, like so nonchalantly. You're like, all right, she's got to be like superhuman. But yeah, great movie.
Okay.
Great movie. But yes,
if you watch the first one, you find out a lot more about her.
you do, and you find out some very odd things in this one, like what she wants to change in this one, like that scene. Yeah.
Okay. So she's a female RoboCop. Is that what she is? Or was she a human at some point?
She's like a cyborg,
Well, that's RoboCop.
She's like the one from what is it? No, the one Jason movie in space. The robot. I don't even know.
Like an android.
She's a female.
Like an android, yeah.
She is she's a cop.
Yeah.
And she's a robot.
She's a RoboCop.
I mean, her arm shoots off later in the movie.
Yeah, like Rock'em Sock'em Robots.
Yeah. So I mean, so she is like a robot. She is like again, I didn't see the first movie, so I don't know if she was a robot in the first movie too.
She was, yeah. No, they really didn't. They talked a little bit about it, but then she wanted to change. So that's what made no sense when George Takei was like working when Doc Valentine was working on her, and I'm like, what is he gonna do? And he like in what world do you want anyone to have the power to crush a rock, and then she could not stop crushing?
Well,
and
because of if you work in a coal mine, you can make diamonds.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't that what Superman does? He crushes the coal and he gets a diamond.
Was that in Superman 3 or Superman 4? Does he do that?
It's probably like 3 or 4.
Probably like Quest for Peace.
When he's going into Nuclear Man.
Oh.
But yeah, so what was she trying to do with? So George Takei is the mad scientist. Is that what it is?
He's like the doctor. Like
he does everything. He's like the old timey, like the doctor did everything. I guess he fixed everyone with everything.
So he's that phony doctor that pretended like he had medicine that worked,
like the snake oil salesman or whatever.
Yeah, that's okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
And he was drunk all the time, so who would trust him?
Yeah.
He was hammered the whole movie.
He was always boozed up.
I could not understand a word he said. It was and he I'll give him credit. He played the crap out of his role. I mean, he went all out to be as weird as he can.
That's the one thing about this movie. No one really phoned it in. They were all. It felt like everyone was like in
100%.
it. 100%. With a movie like this, you would feel like some people would just kind of be like, "All right, whatever." But most people were like, "No, let's do it."
Yeah, even Lurch's role in this movie. We covered Lurch earlier in the year because he was the main villain in the Ewoks: The Battle for Endor. He played that main creature at the end of the movie. But no, even him in this movie, like he's as quirky as he is as Lurch or in Twin Peaks. Like his line,
I've never heard him speak before, so I'm surprised he spoke. Because
he had funny lines.
He did, but I thought he would have like the Jaws sounding voice, or like the Andre the Giant, because he's such a big guy, and he actually sounded normal. He had a normal speaking voice.
He's probably the superest, nicest guy ever. But he just looks like he has that real menacing look.
So why is he wearing the Abraham Lincoln hat?
Well, he's the old school mortician. They always wore those hats back in the day.
So this movie's made in 1996. When is it supposed to be taking place? Is it supposed to be taking place on a planet now, or is it okay?
Well, I don't know what year it is, but it's in some dystopian future where everything worlds are collide.
Wait, it's in the future, but everything looks like it's in the past.
Well, different
and they still have
societies
guns
can be
and
at
stuff.
different speeds than we are.
Okay.
There might be a planet X47 somewhere out there where they may be just building the first bicycle or something. You never know.
They still have horses and 6-shooter guns. So,
well, are they horses or are they
and
robot
spaceships.
horses?
And spaceships.
They're robot horses.
Yeah, robot horses. But I love that they're spaceships, and he parks it at the train station.
Okay, wait. Okay, first of all, the one ship looked like the Millennium Falcon right in the beginning of the movie. Right, that thing is flying away.
Crowley?
Are you? Well, you talking about Grease 2 guy?
Grease 2, spaceship? Maxwell Caulfield, who didn't age from Grease 2 to this.
No,
movie.
he looks exactly the same. But I mean, how far are you reaching when you're using him as your main villain, like one of the main actors?
Well, is he the main villain?
No, he was supposed to be
villain.
He was going to kill Lash or take Lash in.
Well,
Was-
she's
wasn't
kind of
Lash a-
bad.
The bat.
She cut a guy's dick off. We didn't talk about it
No,
yet. but
wait a
she-
second.
She
We're-
cut a
okay,
guy's
we're-
dick off.
Well, I mean, shame on him for putting the map there. I mean, so that's his fault.
Yeah.
So, but wait, I want to go back to the spaceship. So
Sure.
he comes. They arrive on a train track for the spaceship.
Well, no, he flew in the sky and then he just
Yeah.
parked at the train station. for
No,
two
but
minutes.
he came on a train track. The way he came around, it was like it came in like a slide, like he was on a track. But there were no other spaceships. So why do they have a train track station? But there wasn't one other spaceship throughout the whole movie.
The budget
Only
was
his
really
staff.
light. It was a really light budget.
Okay. All right.
But yeah, no, we'll talk about Crowley in a second. But no, because who he looks like, which I think it's whenever you do these type of movies, like these B movies, you always have these characters that look like other people, or they're like wardrobe wise, they're looking for somebody else. Who
He looked like John Ritter. I thought he looked like John Ritter.
Oh yeah. Well, I was gonna say Willy Wonka.
Well,
he
I mean,
dressed
he was
like
dressed
Willy
like
Wonka.
Willy
Very,
Wonka.
really
Yeah.
Wonka. Yeah.
But his face, I'm talking about Grease 2 guy. He looked like John Ritter. At first, I'm looking at him, and he looked very similar to him.
Yeah.
John
he
Ritter
looked
could have
like-
been in this movie.
He would have been much better.
Oh, Maxwell Caulfield. He
was good. He was.
The cheesiness
I
of the
mean,
role.
well,
he
good.
owned it. The lines were cheesy. He
Yeah.
was at one point a robot because when he
Oh, the fish
changed,
head.
but when he changed to whatever he was, I thought he was a robot because when he got kicked in the balls and he said, and you heard bling, and he says, "You gotta have brass ones in my business." I'm like, is he a robot or does he
Okay.
just have brass balls?
Okay, first of all, the sound effects in this movie is ridiculous. I felt like I was watching a Looney Tunes cartoon because there was so many like sound effects.
Zoinks.
Uh,
And,
Oh,
yeah.
but back to Grease 2 guy, Caulfield.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Maxwell Caulfield.
Okay. Grease 2 is a horrendous movie. So they're like, you know what? We're making a movie. Let's grab someone from one of the worst movies ever made to put him in another movie that's even worse than the one he was in before.
But that gave us Pfeiffer.
It did give us Pfeiffer. But she went on to bigger, better things. He went on to this crap.
Whoa!
I mean,
Different
know.
trajectories in career.
I'm just saying, if you're trying to make a movie, why would you take anyone from a movie that bombed? Well, I could tell you why, because no one else wanted to be in the movie, so beggars couldn't be choosers.
No way. Sam could have had a ton of people in this movie. No, I think he had a relationship with Maxwell Caulfield. No, he's good. I like. Again, I remember reading an article about him when he was in Grease too. I feel like he was like really young, and he was like married to like a woman like a lot older than him. I think his wife was like in her 40s. They ended up like breaking up because the girl he was with later. I remember, I think when How Did This Get Made covered it, somebody interviewed him or uncovered like a Playboy article with him, and he was talking about mature women, and he only liked women over 40.
Well, women over 40 like a cool rider.
Cool, right? Oh man. So let's get back to the beginning. So they're doing this poker hand, they're betting. It's Lash, the amazing Lash in this movie, and she is I don't even know what the other guy's name was, but they were betting. And what did she put up? She put up sex herself.
Yeah. Yeah,
Correct.
she did.
And he put up the mine, the Draconian mine, which Draconian is mentioned in the first movie.
Yeah.
But in this one, it really never came to be anything. Well, it became something that moved, which is kind of wild at the end. But when she loses and she's like, okay, make sure you bring the map, right? She makes sure to mention that when they leave the poker table.
She did.
And then
Yeah.
So, okay. What if you have a choice? And I get it why you want to tattoo it to yourself. This way you always have it in case it gets lost.
true.
Prison Break.
Okay, right, prison, whatever. But of all the places that you
Yeah.
could, because let's just say for argument's sakes, like when you're getting the tattoo of the map in a certain area, are you at full attention to get the full map? Or, what if you can't get full attention, then you only see part of the map, half the map?
Great question. I would think you have to get it full attention
Yeah.
because it's really hard for the artist to know how much
Pause.
it's gonna. It's like it's like when you it's like you know, like those things that you drop in water, like the animals, like the monkeys. You drop the
Yeah.
monkey in the water, you leave it overnight, it grows.
Oh,
So
the
hard
Linky
to, like,
Doinks or
if
whatever
you-
they're called?
Yeah, if you were gonna write on that little monkey a word, and then when it grew, it's really hard to like write to know that it's gonna be like this the right thing. So I think you'd have to be at full attention in order to make sure that you get the full picture.
But okay, so then when she cuts it off, it's not at full attention. It's got to be hard to read. Because then it's like, then
Wait,
it's
you
like,
just said it's got to be hard to read.
well, yes, it does have to be hard to read. So but then now it's all wrinkly, and now you got to stretch it out to read the whole thing, and it's gonna be hard to see, and like I'm just saying, like I just feel like there's better places you could have put a map on.
Where would you put your map on your body?
My thigh.
Yeah, in a
Your
thigh.
thigh. Okay.
Yeah, my thigh. I just think, again, I want to be able to read it the whole time. I think just there, I don't know. I think that's, and like, all right. So if you're searching for something, whatever's on that map. Okay. First of all, it's got to be, the angles, and it'd be hard to read it if you're on yourself there, to really see the whole map. Like, I'm assuming it's written around the entire area.
I would think so. A north has got to be to the head, I would think, right?
Yeah.
The smartest thing
And
to
not for
do.
nothing. Let's be honest. I mean, it was probably a small map.
Yeah.
We're not talking about Will Chamberlain here, right? So so it was probably a small map.
We're talking about not Bill Pullman.
It's not Bill Pullman.
You mean
Yeah,
Bill
the guy-
Hader? Is that who you meant?
No, the guy looked like Bill Pullman from Spaceballs.
Oh, I thought you meant Bill Pullman had a history of having a huge hog.
Oh,
That's
did
what I
he
thought
really?
he was talking about.
I don't
Oh.
know. You just said out of nowhere, Bill
No,
Pullman.
I'm just talking about how he looks like now, but his
Oh, okay. And then I thought you meant Bill Hader because Rachel Bilson came out recently talking about like that's the first time she ever orgasmed was with Bill Hader.
Bill Hader.
wow.
Wait, that's Napoleon Dynamite?
No,
No.
that's Barry.
That's John Heater.
Oh,
Bill Hader from SNL, man.
oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Come
all right.
on.
And
I thought it
Barry.
was Napoleon Dynamite.
I mean,
Gosh. But no, I guess you'd have to do something, stretch it out. You'd have to like pin something, but somehow, or you just have to take the whole skin off, stretch it out, like cut it in the right spot, peel it out like a map, and that's what you got to do.
Jesus.
All right. I just think there's better places this guy could have done it.
Yeah.
I mean, and so okay, so he's about to have sex with her, and you have that creepy guy underneath. Which who is that guy? He looks familiar.
Oh, Bork. Oh, no, dude. His
Bork.
name's Erwin Keyes. He
Okay.
is one of those character actors. I would say put him toe to toe with like Tex Cobb. They
Oh,
play
yeah.
a similar role. I bet you they auditioned for the same movies. Like Tex Cobb could be in that role in this movie. Like the same
Oh,
kind
yeah.
of thing.
Well, I mean, yeah, but
Goofy,
Bork
scary
has that
looking.
look, though. I mean, he definitely
Yeah.
has that like look that he has the look of the role that he played.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I mean, he literally walked in, and they were like, "Dude, we don't have to change anything. This
Yeah.
is the guy. This
He
is the guy."
he came in a set like that. They were like, makeup, you don't have to do anything. He's got it.
Yeah. So okay. So after she sees the map, she cuts it off.
Yeah.
That
Yep.
kills him.
Well, I guess so. And he deserved it anyway because his creepy lines, like he wasn't even good at dirty talk because his line was, "How about you and me lay horizontally?" And I'm like, okay.
All right. Well, this was in the old West. Maybe that was a big,
That was the turn
Yeah.
on line?
that was a turn on back then. But why would that kill him? I mean, John Wayne Bobbitt was alive, and he got cut off.
Yeah.
That's true. And they
Like I don't think getting that cut off. I mean, you can get your arm cut off. You're not going to die. So why would you die? Having that cut off.
Well, do we know he died? Because did Lurch
Well, you
come
don't see the rest of the movie.
Yeah. I mean,
That's true.
yeah.
Maybe he
Sure.
took the spaceship and left. Next spaceship that came in, and he
Okay.
went to Sheboygan or something. But no, I really don't know why. The thing is if she pulled a knife out, because you see the way she pulled it
Yeah.
out, If I was him, I'd be like, all right, I'll tell you where it is. I can draw it on paper. How about you just like look at it and copy it? Or I know there's like we have spaceships here. Is there a fax machine or a copy machine somewhere?
Well, my
camera?
guess is he used it to sleep with as many women as he can. Because he would say, listen, look at the map here, look where it is. And, like, that's a good reason to, let it out. And then they would have sex with him. And then he leaves in the morning.
And he's out.
So
is that a good line to be like, yeah, I got a Banksy picture down there. You gotta dance a little bit for it, honey. That's not Banksy, that's Bart Simpson. But no, it makes no sense that he would get like I know like there just roll it up and put it in your wallet.
Wait, roll what up? You're saying roll up his junk and put it in her wallet?
Yeah, I'm saying get it cut. No, I'm saying get it put on tattooed on there, cut it off, put it in your wallet, and then you'll have it. Oh, she put it in her wallet.
All right. Yikes.
She's lost looking for directions. Well, hey, beautiful. I'll help you if you got a map. Oh, well,
I got a map.
Can you hold that side?
By the way, I would also think that after she cuts it off and the lack of blood, it's gonna start turning black and like start shriveling up and like just becoming, they start decaying.
She's gonna have to find it quick.
She's gonna have to get that thing on ice. Get that thing on
gotta
ice.
keep it on
Yeah.
ice.
You know what would be a funny bit if she looked at it after she cut it off, or looked like maybe just do like just stare at her eyes, and she looks down. She's like, "Oh, I know where this is," and we hear a and it just like hits in the spittoon or something.
Well, and then later in the movie, you see him wandering around looking for it.
Yeah,
It's
like
or someone steps on it.
someone
Like,
steps on it later. Yeah. Like it's like a banana peel. It's like, oh,
yeah. It's like in Can't Hardly Wake, the letter that gets stuck to everybody's foot and everything.
Yeah.
But with
the guy's dick. Yeah.
So you're saying that his junk gets stuck to everybody's foot when they're walking around?
Yeah, and it gets like taken all over the place.
Oh, that's gross. I don't like the sound of a cockroach stepping on a cockroach and hearing that crunch.
Wait,
can you imagine stepping on his junk and hearing?
Are we trying? Well, you could have picked any animal, or insect.
Cockroach.
And you choose cockroach.
Okay, I'm sorry. I don't like the sound of a cat when I step on a cat and hear that crunch. That sounds better.
I think you're gonna say penis beetle.
Penis beetle.
Our buddy's listening to this right now. Our bug expert, and he's probably like, guys, you don't step on cockroaches.
He's probably mad at me right now for saying that, and I'm sorry.
And leave those penis beetles alone.
Yeah, leave those penis beetles alone. They didn't bother you. So then we cut back to from there, she's able to. Now she knows where the draconian mine is. Then at the same time we see Marshall Zach Stone for the first time. And man,
what's his deal? Because like he has this girl that really likes him,
Maddie, who was, I believe, in the first movie. Was she kind of had the hots for his dad, right?
There was implications that they had slept together.
Yeah, his dad was really old. He was like Wilford Brimley, like now old.
Yeah.
And
you mean like 40?
42. But no, he was like an older guy. Yeah, no, it was like an older guy. And then there's a weird reveal at the end of the movie that Miss Kitty is possibly Zach's mom, but they never mentioned that in the first one.
Well,
it was just
but in this one, she
son.
mentions that she knew his father. They had like a
Well, everybody did. No, I know, but everybody, because he took care of her, but she meant it, I guess, in a sexual way, when really you thought, because she runs a whorehouse and he was the marshal in town, that whorehouse, I mean, H-O-R. When that guy spells that, you're like, what's this guy going with this? H-O-R?
Ugh.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, so what do we got here? Next, I guess, is really like, the Catwoman is the next time we see her, right? We're at Miss Kitty's saloon.
We're at the saloon, and this is where I said, because they're all standing around like they're part of the village people. Like the outfits they're all wearing, this is where I said it looks like a Halloween party. When they're at the saloon, like every outfit really looks like they went to the back room, said everybody just grab what you want to wear, doesn't matter what it is, put it on and get on set. And that's what it looked like. Like it just, I don't know what they were. I don't know what they were aiming for. Like, was this supposed to be a Western or a science fiction movie?
Well, it's sci-fi.
Or
It's
it's-
like Cowboys and Aliens, like that movie Cowboys and Aliens that came
It
out
is
like
very, yeah.
10 years after this.
With Daniel
And they
Craig
used the
and-
same tagline as this movie.
Yeah,
Ooh.
that movie's a little better than this one.
Not much.
It's got Harrison Ford and Daniel Craig. You know,
It is true.
I'll take it.
Yeah, okay. So, but no, wasn't it kind of weird to hear Miss Kitty in the scene when she's talking to Meg Foster, Stell, and she says, I bet you that the marshal gets shot. It was kind of weird when you hear what she says at the end of the movie, that you're my son. I forgot what she said instead of son. Another word that starts with S.
There's so much mystery around her. Like, I don't understand. I don't understand what she is or like who she is, because, you know, again, like she really is like the main character in this whole movie.
Mm-hmm.
You know, from beginning to end, and like
Yeah.
she gets herself like but I don't understand like what does she have superpowers? I mean, she doesn't
Great
die.
question. Well,
I mean,
well,
seriously,
yeah, and she teleports. We find out
Right.
that she can teleport.
So if that's the mom, shouldn't the sheriff have like same kind of powers?
to the because you know
He's
what?
the son.
That would be
Okay.
something if he
Good,
could
yeah.
teleport at the end. That would have
Yeah.
been something. No,
And
they didn't mention
and
that.
she seems to be like, I mean, it seems like people are afraid of her because she dealt with that drunk guy, which
Yeah.
what was the deal to have that guy? Because like he served no purpose through the whole movie. The one that was like I think he hit the other girl.
the HOR, yeah.
The HOR.
No, I think that was to set up like the morals of Zach and to get them alone together for that scene when she goes, "I'm the person that Sweeney's looking
Okay.
for." So that was really it, because it was kind of funny in a way, because it's like you saw the HOR's face and you saw she had like a red mark.
Yeah.
So the guy hit her. So you're like, okay, so she was just defending the guy. Like she pushed him down the stairs. But the fact that Zach was going to like arrest her, that was like a little much.
Well, I mean, the guy was he dead, or she did assault him. I mean, I think she did more than push him down the stairs, because he like rolled on. He basically rolled off every ledge of the stairs. You know.
Yeah.
There was a whole thing in the first one about how he hated violence. Like he wouldn't use violence no matter what.
Yeah, no, he says that in this movie too. He doesn't want to use a gun when they catch them at the mine.
It's
Remember
very
when
like,
they're beating, whenever they're trying to beat
yeah.
up Bork, and he's like, "I swear I wouldn't use a gun."
Yeah.
And then 5 seconds later,
He's like-
he has the gun out, pointing at Lash, and he goes, "I'll shoot you if I have to." And I'm like, she probably knows you don't like to use guns, so she should just run.
Wait a second. So he's a cop. He's a sheriff in the first one also.
No, he's a minor.
Well, he takes over for his dad.
His dad
Okay.
dies.
So he doesn't like violence. So what does he do? He works as the most violent, like really one of the most violent jobs you're gonna have is being a sheriff.
Yeah, because
In the Old West.
his dad was a marshal in the first one, and he gets killed by Red Eye. Which
Okay,
is
but
Jairus' brother.
which I already saw in the first 15 minutes of the movie. They showed you the whole movie from the first one.
Yeah.
But why would he become a cop then if he doesn't like violence? Like he should work at the florist.
Family
There
business.
should be a florist in this town.
They should. I mean that would be a perfect job for him if he doesn't want violence.
Yeah, well, I think it's that whole trope they did. They did this trope a lot in the 80s and 90s of like I saw a movie not too long ago when they had the cop with that. The cop accidentally shot like a kid or something. And he's like, "I only use my gun if I have to." So it's silly that he has to do that, but it's so funny how quick he turns in this movie.
Oh,
He's like, "I'm not going to use." And his Native American buddy in this movie,
oh okay.
their relationship is like, it's almost like if the Native American guy didn't talk to anyone else, you'd probably think like this is like Fight Club.
Yeah, he's
Because
like,
there's some
Durden,
scenes
yeah.
at the end of the movie when he's making out with Maddie and you saw his hat get taken off, you're like, "Oh, Maddie took his hat off," or he took his own hat off to make out. No, the Native American guy took his hat off in order for him to make out with Maddie. And then he was holding it and then put it back on his head as soon as the makeout.
But
started.
see, so this Native American guy, again, it looks like he took a belt from like the wardrobe and wrapped it around his head, because that wasn't like a Native American bandana or whatever they like.
That was like a
it
hippie
literally-
bandana.
No, it was like
It was
straight out of,
metal.
like-
It looked like it was made of metal.
Yeah.
Like it. So like again, like I wasn't sure if he was supposed to be Native American or not, just because one, he looks completely Caucasian, and two, his headdress or whatever like looked like it was a belt. I don't know.
Yeah, it was.
And let me tell you something. When the scene when he was gonna fight Grease 2 guy, and he jumps out of the bar.
Yeah.
Literally, he jumped out, looked like he was trying to land on Grease 2 guy, but he wasn't even near him at all, and he completely missed. It was the most ridiculous scene, I think, throughout the whole movie.
The fight scenes in this movie are really funny because it seems like they did it like one take.
Oh,
and there obviously
easily.
probably was not a fight coordinator, but this is like the part. So right now is when the ship arrives.
Yes.
So the ship, Sweeney is there. He's heading for
Well,
Oblivion.
well, before he arrives, they heard about him. So they're all they thought he was as big as that barn, as wide as it's like that. Like they described him as like the biggest thing you're possibly going to imagine, and then here comes this preppy English guy.
Yeah, looking like Sherlock Holmes.
10 feet tall, wide as a barn. Yeah, it was like Chuck Norris, or it was like Dalton. I thought you'd be taller. It was the same thing. Like you're thinking this guy's like this big badass, but no, he looks like
Willy Wonka. And
or the penguin. Penguin. I thought the hat was very penguinish.
Yes, it was. Well, and he also didn't, and he had a cane. Didn't he have like one of those walk?
I bet you Julie Newmar was like, "Listen, I can get on the set of Batman. I can get some costumes if you need it." And she stole the penguin costume and was like, "Try this on. Does it fit?" He's like,
"Listen, that's what he looked like
a glove."
And he also had a monocle, like a penguin.
He did.
Yeah, he did.
Which
all he was missing was like the little the cigarette pipe, like the cigaretto or whatever it is. Like the penguin used that.
What's the point of a monocle?
Oh, I don't.
If you got,
I always thought that was the
eye.
silliest thing. Like the Monopoly guy having that. I'm like,
or Mr.
wait,
Peanuts.
so you have so much money, right? Or Mr. Peanut, you got that peanut money, and wait, you can only see out of one eye. So I'm gonna like I see these poor people that have like actual bifocals, but no, you have one little.
He's like, nope. I just need my.
What's the point of that? And this guy and he's walking around with it on his eyes, like he's not even using it. Like he's literally walking around like he's got like missing one of his eyeglass things.
Yeah.
Like I just never understood the point of that one. That and
me either.
And the hearing thing, the hearing horn that people.
The hearing horn.
It looks like a French horn that you stick in the old lady's ear.
Oh my.
Yeah. Honey, I want to be so rich when I get older. How rich do you want to be? I want to have a monocle and a hearing horn. And a Model T, damn it. And you're set for life. You're the richest guy in the neighborhood. That's it.
I like how he gets surrounded though by all these guys after they're looking at him, like, this is the guy we were afraid of, and they all surround him.
And they just start pushing him for no reason, like literally just.
Well, I thought I didn't think. I really thought that he was gonna be like the Wizard of Oz, like he's everybody's afraid of him until they meet him, and he's really like a nothing. So I didn't think he was a badass, but he proved me wrong.
He was.
I mean, I don't know what he did, but he just somehow knocked everybody out.
Yeah. And the marshal seemed like he didn't like. It's like he already knew he wasn't gonna like him before. Obviously, what we see happens like when he goes on a date with Maddie, or they're kind of like into each other, and he was like, "Yeah, I don't see anything that's wrong here." I'm like, "Wait, they're bullying this guy. They're pushing around this guy that's visiting, who's supposed to be the most badass bounty hunter in like the whole galaxy, and you're gonna let them do this?" But he did.
And we didn't discuss why he wouldn't hook up with the girl.
Wait. Oh yeah, when she was like,
and she said, didn't she say something like, "I haven't had sex in like 10 years," something like that? Or
3 years.
3 years.
Her husband died. Yeah.
Yeah, and then, be honest with you, throughout the movie, I thought he had a relationship with the Native American. And that's why he wasn't, because I mean, it made no sense. Like she's like they're on a date, they're on a blanket, and then like she comes back like she's annoyed at him.
The end of the first
what's
one,
funny?
You could probably think that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, I know. And no, to add to it is funny. They almost like forgot a scene because they are on the blanket and they're talking, and it's like obviously they're not like super into each other. It seems like one way, like she's into him, but then you're right. When they cut away and then they go to the bar, you're like, What just happened?
Well, it made it look like he was done already and he left her there. Like, you know, like I didn't think like nothing happened. And then also you see her walk in annoyed, and then you're like, all right, this guy doesn't like girls.
He left her. He just left her. Oh, yeah, I gotta go check out something behind that bush. And then never comes back. That's how he leaves her.
Yeah. All right. I just
Oh,
wanted to get to
God.
that. So you know what? He has no right to be mad at the English guy or the bounty hunter for going on a date because he had his chance.
Yeah, she put it out there, and he said,
did.
"No, I'm good."
And she even said, "Listen, you know what? Unless it bothers you, I won't go on the date." Like she gave him another chance, and he still wimped out.
Nope. And it was like, it fueled him. She was like, I'm
Yeah.
going to piss him off. And it didn't work the first time, but it works later in the movie.
Maybe it does. Okay.
Finally, it does. But yeah, so Miss Kitty, she's very upset right away. But I no guess about it. Like when he
Oh, no.
describes who he's looking for, I didn't think it would be her at all.
why
even
would
though,
you?
Look,
No.
when thinking back, you think, because he talks about like beautiful and charismatic, but she could change
Well,
her
because
appearance. So you really don't know.
kept showing what's her face as the main villain.
Lash.
Right.
Lash.
So they kept showing right. So they kept showing. So there's no reason why you would think Miss Kitty. You're thinking like Lash the whole time, and really like they pulled a Sixth Sense on us. They basically had a little twist, and Lash wasn't that bad of a person.
No, she just came off that way.
Well, I mean, except for that.
Except for that. And shooting a guy for smoking in the bar. I guess that's the penalties there. No smoking.
Well, listen,
Listen,
you don't follow. Listen,
15
it
people.
There
said
was
no
a sign.
li-
Yeah, there was a sign.
There was a sign that said no smoking. So you know what? Shame on him.
And Isaac Hayes did warn him, but he didn't listen.
Yeah.
No parking handicap spot. Murder. Oh, it's fine.
Yeah.
I forgot my sticker.
No, too bad.
But that's what happens in Oblivion 2. In this future, no smoking is serious. They don't mess around.
Those things will kill
No,
you.
they
So-
don't. That's right.
So then we get Doc. How about Doc Valentine? And he has that magic machine because he is like, you're right. He is that like inventor doctor, but he could see the weather on it. And I love like, what's the dark region over here? It's a bug. There's a bug on the lens.
Do you think a lot of this was like improv?
Oh yeah.
I would say a lot of it. I'm sure Sam lets his actors like play, and the people he works with. Obviously, you kind of have to not have to let these people, but you want them to be involved in like any actor in any movie that we've had on. We always talk to the actors and we say like, oh, do you get to like improv? And you see how excited they get when they can because they're basically putting something into the scene.
Sure.
So they're like writing as they're going. So yeah, I believe
Because I felt like Takei was totally just going off the wall with his character, and I feel like again, since you couldn't understand him, he was just going. I think he was improving a lot.
I think he was really drunk for most of this movie. He played it very well.
He looked like he was having fun.
Yeah,
Like
it
you know,
did.
like he, and again, I don't know if did they think they were making a good movie or did they know they were making such a campy, crappy movie?
Oh, campy.
Yeah,
They were going for that. Yeah, that's why they have those. You're not going to make a movie that you're thinking it's going to be Oscar worthy, and you're doing throwbacks to the character's previous roles. You don't do that.
What's the movie with the time warp? They thought they were making a good movie.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, the time warp with Steve Curry. What's the campy movie that they play in theaters all the time? The
Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Oh yeah.
That movie came out in the theater and it became campy because it bombed so bad. But they thought they were making a good movie.
Wow.
That's
That's a
awful.
good movie.
By the way, there is a sequel to that movie.
They're a shock treatment.
Oh boy.
Sam's good
Oh.
friends with the person who wrote it, and he's actually not in this movie. He was in a couple other movies that Sam did.
I'll tell you right now, that has Nick's name all over it.
Shock
No.
treatment.
Oh.
So we already talked about like Doc Valentine working on Stell and giving her like the strong hand, and so in this town, the next we get. What's the next scene right after this? Oh, we already talked about it.
No, they're in the
then
cave.
This is when the ship arrives.
And no, they go now. We see the cave with
Oh, yeah, the
Lash is in the
cave.
cave. Lash is in the
Yes.
cave.
And they
So,
chase her
yeah.
down. Yeah, because he lets them know, and then they show a picture Mateo shows a picture of Lash on the wanted poster. He goes, "That might be her. She's wanted anyway." And then they go, "Oh, well, let's kind of try to find her." And Mateo, because he was going back and forth and spying on her. How about his peeping when you saw him in the window? He wasn't a good peeper.
No, he wasn't. No.
No, you're quite obvious. And okay, so back to Lash, and not that I'm complaining, because I mean, I like the outfit she's wearing, but what is the outfit she's wearing? Again, you're in the Old West. They're all wearing cowboy hats and everything else, and she looks like she's in Mortal Kombat.
She's a dominatrix.
Or the village people.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm all for it.
The bikers with
No,
the
I
assless chaps.
am too, but it just like the type of leather that she's wearing and the outfit doesn't fit with anything else that anybody else is wearing.
That's the quirkiness of it, because it
Yeah.
doesn't fit. And she stands out. So every time you see her, especially with like the black hair and the like red lipstick, no, she's definitely totally different from
And
everyone
not for
else.
nothing, it's the same outfit pretty much that she's wearing in Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, except hers is like purple, like Sindel. Yeah,
But it's the
purple,
same
yeah.
type of like like one piece kind of outfit. I guess
Yeah.
All right.
I would say the only person I thought could have been doing it. I'm reading my notes, and when Stell shows the wanted poster, and she's like, "Oh, it's got to be her. She's ruthless. She's terrible." Like, and then when the guy goes, "Oh, maybe this could be her," she like gives this wink, and I'm like, maybe it's Stell. Maybe it's her. She's like half robot. Maybe that would be the story of she can infiltrate all these people like over the years and be like a corporate spy.
You were thinking that deep into this movie that there's like, I was just looking at everything at face value.
Yeah.
I would just
No,
going
that's
along.
not
with
how I
go-
watch. I'm next
Oh.
level. I'm in
Okay,
depth.
I didn't think there was
Watching
any
behind
clever.
the scenes.
There's no way I was thinking there's going to be any switcheroos or cleverness in this type of movie, and I was watching it as face value.
There's
'Cause
layers.
again-
there's layers to this thing, Jamie.
Lots of
No,
layers.
there is layers. I just don't understand. Again, I don't understand the plot is. I don't understand what they were looking for in a cave. The only plot I knew, or I just was easy, is that the bounty hunter was looking for, I thought, Lash. That's it.
Mm.
But I didn't know, like, again, I don't know what they're looking for in that cave. Can anyone
Draconian.
explain?
Draconium.
It would-
Draconium.
Okay,
Go, Nick.
for what though? So can you explain?
It's the rarest. It's like the rarest mineral in the galaxy. The one guy said and like when he dropped it on the table and they won it.
Wait, it's the rarest in the galaxy, yet that cave is loaded with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's-
Okay.
That cave in
Okay,
air
okay.
quotes.
By the way, the only good switcheroo that I was like, okay, was when I saw a turtle. when Lash was in there and she moved the turtle on top that was on top of the window, I'm like, why is there a turtle in
And
there?
then she throws it.
It throws a turtle, right? But I'm
Oh.
like, it's such an odd thing to have in here. And then okay, so
for-
you know what? That was the most creative thing.
For
And I'm not going to go there yet, but that to me. Okay,
But isn't that really odd? We'll talk about it at the end. But isn't that really odd that there was a little turtle in there?
It's a
Well,
baby.
Well, the entire thing is odd because the fact that they were inside the cave. And
there's a turtle?
I can't. I mean, it doesn't make sense because
It's not
there was
usually
nothing to show
natural
that
habitat.
there's anything that's alive inside that cave. Like in Star Wars, when they go inside, they fly inside that worm thing. They didn't realize they were inside the monster. Everything's soft. Everything like you see, like I think you see his uvula, whatever, hanging there or something. That thing in the back of your throat.
Oh, okay. Tonsil?
You don't. No, uvula. It's uvula. UVULA.
We're gonna have to check that one out.
Wait, you
There's any
guys have never-
doctors listening, and if there's any
Wait.
throat doctors listening,
No, neither one of you have heard of uvula.
well, I've heard of it, but you just pronounced it 7 times, and it sounds different every time you've said it.
Well, I think the last time I said it is the correct way.
Uvula.
There you go.
Uvula.
Uvula.
Wasn't that? I think that was in Seinfeld episode.
No, her name was
Mulva.
Mulva. Oh, okay.
Mulva.
Okay.
And her name was
Dolores.
Dolores.
It rhymes with the female body part.
What a great man.
Okay. So anyway, the fact that they're walking around and everything is stone, everything is cave, everything is like the fact that it's able to move later on makes no sense.
Yeah, no, definitely not. But I love it for it. But how about when she's in there and so she's like, oh, the draconian, my flashlight's not gonna work, and then in the set that they built, because it's definitely not inside of it, everything's styrofoam. Like when the ceiling's caving later, it's definitely styrofoam looking. But when she has somewhere to put her whip, because obviously she's dominatrix, because she has to have a whip, she has a whip hook. And then she also there's a oil and a lamp that's already there.
Yeah,
She
yeah.
lights it, and when she lights it, the whole place lights up. Like it's like it's like
Well-
a magic lamp that goes in other rooms.
She had a flashlight running on what?
Well, it's running a battery, but
Batteries?
the draconian interrupts
wait,
the battery for some reason.
batteries. So they had batteries in the Old West.
In the future. Well, they had spaceships, so yeah. I hope
No,
they
no,
had
no, no, no.
batteries.
They didn't have spaceships. The bounty hunter had a spaceship. No one else had a spaceship. They had horses. The bounty hunter had a robot horse. Like so, they had they literally were like the Old West, and everything else was space. Like was space. I don't think they were part of the science fiction part. Chris, tell me something in that town that was science fiction outside of the female RoboCop. There was nothing science fiction about this at all.
I guess Doc Valentine's. That was like not anything too crazy. His bad.
No,
mother
he was
machine.
like a Doc Brown making inventions. I'm sure they had inventions in the Old West of like they had some kooky guy that was making all these crazy inventions back then, and that's what he was. But I mean, there was nothing because they even look shocked when we see the bounty hunter change. Like
Ugh.
none of them were aliens. None of them had powers. None of them like no one there except for Lash. She was the only one that had like who had electricity?
She
Was it
did.
Lash?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, with
Which,
the whip, yeah.
Again, makes no sense that she couldn't get out of her prison, but she was somehow tied up. And
Well,
yeah.
no, we'll talk about that in a second.
That's right.
But no, so when she's in there, like you just said, she lit the oil lamp and lit up the whole place, and then everybody, as soon as she goes in, Bork's waiting outside. You have the Marshal and Mateo. They show up. They keep getting their asses kicked by him. The bounty hunter just walks up. He
What,
walks
that
right
fight,
in.
by the way, was the most
Oh.
ridiculous thing ever.
Comical.
It looked like old school WWE like wrestling, like but from the 70s. Like
Yeah.
it was just like so like ridiculous, like yeah, and they were awful.
Yeah. But so when he goes in, I love the line, especially with the monocle to add to it, when she goes, "How did this happen?" Because the rocks fell and she's yelling for Bork. She keeps yelling for him, and who lets her out? It's Sweeney. And she goes, "It's a booby trap." And he puts on the monocle and he goes, "I see." And he's looking at her breasts. And then he explains who he is and what they're gonna do, and she goes, "Can you hold this whip?" But just before she hands him the whip, she flips a switch. Now, here's my question for you guys: was that electricity that shocks him on a timer, or was it voice activated? Because she says the line.
She's like,
She actually says the line of shocking.
yeah.
She goes, "It's quite shocking," and then that's when he gets shocked. So I don't know if she timed it out or it was voice activated.
Well,
I think
is
it's
she a
voice
sorceress? Is she a sorceress?
No, I don't think
No.
so.
No,
So she just has electricity.
she's just a dominatrix.
No, she had a switch. She flipped the switch on it to electrocute, but I don't know if it was voice activated or it was like in 10 seconds it's going to shock whoever's holding it.
Do you think George Takei also made that?
Oh, probably.
Maybe,
I can
yeah.
see that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can see it messing around with Lash.
Back to something you said. Does anyone know why a booby trap is called booby trap?
It's a great question. Why
Yeah,
would
That
they
is a good
call it
question,
booby
right? I
trap?
mean,
Well, the joke is in Goonies,
yes,
it's actually the line in the movie,
a booty trap.
booty trap, but then he said the line wrong and they kept with it. Him and Sean Astin, Data, when they were going
So
to the
you think
line,
it's supposed to be called a booty trap?
because it's pirate's booty.
Right.
Gold.
So you're saying that booby trap came from Goonies?
Changed the whole world.
I'll
No way.
I'll buy
I don't
that.
believe that. No way. There was booby trap before then. Oh, we're googling this after. Although I'm afraid what's gonna pop up when you type in booby
yeah,
trap.
you better watch that search history.
Oh wait, actually, whoa, it's really dark when you read this is just like a Wikipedia snippet. It says the phrase booby trap originally applied to schoolboy pranks and yanks. Oh, Ghoulies Go to College was another one Nick did.
And Cranks.
He forgot that
yeah.
one?
Well, because
How'd
my mic cut out on that one. I was really a part
Oh
of
yeah,
that
I know.
one.
I do.
I
Oh,
would
that is
take
true.
that movie all day long over this one.
Oh,
Both great movies. I did double feature. But then it says after it says, but took on a more sinister connotation during the World War One. So it went from schoolboy pranks to murder.
so
So
mustard
do you
gas
think?
and-
But do you think they had someone show their boobies and distract someone,
Ooh,
and then they set a trap for them from the boobie, and it's a booby trap.
I like that. They
I
have
like
like
that too.
a blonde from Mississippi, and then you had German go, "Ooh, look at the boobies
Yeah,
on her,"
and they walk
then-
over and they step in some kind of like bear claw trap, and they're okay.
Yeah.
I think we just found out.
Oh,
where it's
booby
from.
trap is from whoever's people listening. You're learning a lot. In the late 17th century, hungry sailors would set a trap for a seabird known as a booby. The term booby trap was really literally a trap for a booby. However, it evolved to mean a more harmful device. So everything starts as a very playful thing. Obviously, it's murdering birds for food, but like schoolboy pranks, catching birds to murder.
World War II or World War One.
And let's not forget, there's a bird called a booby.
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like that. I like that.
Okay.
What came first, the term boobies or the bird?
Oh.
I would say probably the bird, but that's just my guess.
Now, do you think the bird had boobies, and that's where they?
Yeah.
Big old
Hey
knockers.
Frank, look at the rack on that one. Maybe it was like Lewis and Clark. Hey Lewis, look at the rack on that bird.
Okay.
And then you know what they else discovered on that same day? Can you
Oh,
guess
boy.
what I'm gonna say?
I'm no, but I'm afraid what you're gonna say.
Look at the set on that mouse. I'm gonna call that a tit mouse. That's a real mouse. A tit
Well,
mouse.
I know. So you think you think a mouse had boobs too?
Oh, I was a little rack.
Okay. Okay.
Lewis,
Nice.
watch where you're walking. It's a penis beetle. I had to circle back to the penis beetle.
That's what I was gonna say. That's what I was. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Before titmouse.
So now we're so we're back. Let's get back to the movie.
Ooh.
So back in the movie, you have he's shocked. He falls to the ground. He starts shaking, but then he comes out like when Lash walks out.
Well, she runs out, sees the guns pointed at her. She runs
Yeah.
back in,
Yeah.
Yes.
and then 2 seconds later, he's carrying her out.
He's
Yes.
carrying her out.
And I rewound it twice. Something falls off. I thought it was a wig or something. When you watch it, there's something that falls behind them as she's walking out. And like, I couldn't picture what it is. And you don't see her head, you don't see her face, but something off of her falls off as she's walking out.
Oh my
Yeah.
god!
A little
You
blooper.
watched the scene twice. Look at this guy.
I did, because it was a little blooper, a little booper.
A little booper.
Booper.
Little booper.
Do you think it was in the script for when he carried her out and said that wasn't terribly hard, and he smacked her ass? Do you think that was in
Not
the
at
script?
all. That's not at all.
Yeah,
I'll tell you though, it was pretty firm because nothing moved when he slapped her.
Yeah. I was like, is that real? But she's funny. Like, her character is great. And obviously that's why she continued to work and play these kind of sinister henchman-like roles. Because even when they were saying, like, espionage, sabotage, she goes, I can't even spell those words, let alone do them. Like, her whole thing in the jail cell, like, trying to get out from the marshal, it's pretty funny. Like, those scenes. Obviously, she was still in a lot of the movie, but she was kind of sidelined most of the movie. It was like RoboCop 3. She was just in the cell for half the movie.
She was, and I mean, her banter was good, but like, did she just run out of electricity though? She couldn't use that anymore when she was in there.
Well, she didn't have her thing. It wasn't like she had electricity powers. It was in her whip. He had her whip the whole time. She
Wait,
didn't have her whip
the
on her.
whip had electricity?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what shocked. That's what I'm saying. She
Oh.
flipped the switch.
I
She
was,
flipped the
I
switch
on.
thought she had electricity.
In
That's
the first
why,
one
like,
too,
okay.
she jumps up behind the Native American and throws the whip around him, and she says "surprise" and shocks him with the whip.
Is she wearing the same outfit in the first one?
Yeah.
Yeah, she doesn't change.
No, it's
Okay. And you know, she's in this cell. I have to be honest with you. The bars are pretty wide. It looks like she could slide right through.
Oh,
She's
she's
not-
right there.
She really does. I mean, she's pretty skinny, and it looks like she easily could slide right through.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Just whoop. What if they ever did that? If there's like a really skinny person that they're there, let's say like mid '90s Kate Moss, they arrest.
Oh, easily.
They're putting her
Yeah.
in a dog cage, right?
Just like with like
'Cause
little
she'll
air
slip right
holes
out.
poked in. Yeah,
Yeah.
just like air holes.
Did you notice that when they went back to her cell, the way she was laying, her hair was all laid out like she was like posing. Like if in the scene, you see her from, like the cameras from the above view looking down at her, and her hair was neatly groomed, like spread out throughout the whole cell.
Oh, you're talking
know-
about when she's saying "I hate you"
Yes,
a lot
yes.
when
you
she's
just-
picking the flower. I
Yes,
didn't
yes.
notice her hair, but
oh,
her lines
I'm
were
telling
funny.
you, it looks ridiculous because, like I said, it's combed out all over, like it's like all yeah, it's pretty funny.
So then from there, it's so funny. They're getting ready to leave, right? Sweeney's like, I got her. I'm going to go. Just make sure Marshall fill out the paperwork. And then George Takei or someone comes in and says, like, there's an electronic storm. You're not going to be able to go anywhere. It's like, I guess I'm stuck here. And then that's when he, like, hits on Maddie. And, like, pretty soon after that is when, oh, yeah, because Zach doesn't object. And they go on the date, like, right from there.
So, your first date, you bring him to a whorehouse?
It's the only place to go.
I think it was the only place. I think
Yeah.
it was the only place in the entire town because they don't show any other building except for the bar.
Yeah,
It's a general store, Miss Kitty's.
so
Doc
It's-
Valentine's.
It's a hotel. It's a hotel. It's a
doctor's office,
restaurant.
Yeah,
It's a
And the
it's a poker.
mortician had a place, the funeral home that had bingo
Yeah,
on Thursdays.
Mr. Gaunt.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
that's
they-
all
no
that was in
wonder
that
Kid-
town.
They do bingo.
No
on
wonder Kitty
Thursdays,
has all this money. I mean, she runs the town.
She's a very successful
loaded.
business person. Yeah, that's her superpower.
Yep.
That's her superpower. And she can teleport.
She knows
That's the other
accounting
one.
and
Hologram. She can hologram.
finance and holograms.
That's
yeah.
the other one. So then we get Chef from South Park. He's sitting there talking to Bork.
Bork.
And he basically, like, again, it's almost like Bork forgot what he was supposed to be doing because he goes, well, you have to go get Lash out. You know, what am I going to do? And then I know her, Red Eye. You think Red Eye's back from the dead.
His acting.
Well,
in
he's missing his red eye though.
He's missing his
Yeah,
Red
he's-
Eye. But
yeah.
it's
And
Jagger.
you know, you made a comment that like Bork seems to forget what he was supposed to be doing. Are you surprised that he forgot? You know, like based on how he spoke, he reminded me of Mongo from
yes.
Blazing Saddles.
Yes. Yeah. He's totally.
Oh, is
Mongo.
he? Is that Mongo from?
No,
it's not.
It's not Mongo. I thought it was because when you look him up on IMDb, the picture of Bork he's wearing a cowboy hat and he looks like Mongo from Blazing Saddles. His profile picture. So I
Oh my
thought
God.
it was him. Yeah, you got to see his IMDb. But no, it's not him.
He's from. He was born in New York City. Oh my
Huh.
God. But yeah, he's been in a lot. He passed away a few years ago. But yeah, credits wise, Police Squad. He was in Exterminator 2, a sequel that I know Jamie wants to definitely do.
I want.
He was
even though I never
in-
saw it.
He was the chauffeur in Death Wish 4. Wow. He was in Frankenstein General Hospital. He played.
Wait,
the
he was in
monster.
Frankenstein. Let me guess. He played Frankenstein.
Wait, it was called.
It's really.
it was called
it's
Frankenstein
really funny.
General Hospital.
Oh, dude. Yeah, he plays the monster in a few different things.
Oh, shocker! He looks like a monster. I mean, you know. But you know what? Listen, I give him credit because you know what? He became an actor in
Yeah.
Hollywood. I mean, how many people looking like him? I mean, look at Ron Howard's brother. He looks like a monster too.
Yeah.
Oh, Clint.
But no, he's been in.
Oh.
The big thing I remember him from is he was in the Flintstones. He was like one of the main guys.
Oh.
Well, let me guess.
Yeah.
He played a monster in the Flintstones.
No, he just played a normal guy.
He played a caveman looking exactly like he did.
He played Joe.
By the way,
Joe-
Nick, Clint Howard turned us down. I spoke to
What?
him.
Oh, Clint.
Yeah, he was busy.
I mean, he's still working. He's still doing it.
He's
working,
got.
man.
He probably has a longer list. Well, not as long as the Asian guy from Lethal Weapon.
Yeah.
I think he has the longest list in IMDb. The one that basically doesn't speak in every movie, but he's in every single movie.
Yeah.
But I would say Clint Howard. I guarantee you, he has a long because he's in everything.
Yeah, his IMDb is,
definitely.
yeah. Holy shit. That would have been awesome to get Clint Howard, though.
Yeah. No, definitely.
And you know
But
what?
yeah. So then, yeah.
Never mind. We'll talk after.
Yeah, we can talk about Clint. We can talk about the prospect of maybe we could have got Clint Howard. But no, so then right about this time is when, yeah, so the brother walks in And at first he's like, Red Eye, you're back from the dead. And he even says, oh, I'm his smarter brother.
Smarter brother, Jagger.
Jagar. But he goes, we have to get her out.
So you said he's the villain, but he doesn't, does he? Unless I forgot, does he do anything in this movie?
He just wants to Lash.
Well, yeah, he just wants to lash out.
That's it.
In order to lash out. He wants to lash out in order to get the mine because he finds out right away.
Don't they kind of lash out later?
Oh my God, dude.
Oh.
So weird.
Unnecessary.
Talk about dirty talk, man.
Okay. All right.
Oh.
Well, she seems to like aliens because I guess she was
like
also with Red Eye.
She seems to like everybody.
Well, except for the guy she cut his junk off.
Well, I mean, she almost,
She made out Marshall, gave him a nice little bite the bottom lip, and he was so like stunned by it, he didn't want to let go of the whip. He held on to it until she like pulled it out of his hand when she walked out. But no, just before we get to like when she gets let out, we get the Marshal, and they're trying to figure out what to do because he finds out that hey, this is not Miss Kitty admits to him, like we talked about earlier, hey, I'm the one that he's looking for, not Lash. So he's like in this like pickle of like, what do I do? Do I like send her there just to save this woman that had like sort of relationship with my dad? Like it was like this really hard situation for him to deal with. And then what he says is, yeah, you can't have her. I'm going to keep her. I don't know, 1 or 2 years. And it's like, okay, what are you going to keep her in the cell for 2 years? Like,
wait, okay. This is a guy that he saw the bounty hunter destroy like 10 people in a matter of a second.
yes.
He tried to fight Bork and failed miserably.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to tell the bounty hunter you can't have her? Like, how did he expect to stop him? Because he doesn't want violence. So like the fact that he was trying to act tough, like from this point of, because he obviously had an issue of he didn't know who to like do the. Which, by the way, Lash is in his mind is still an evil person, so he easily could have given her up. So why was he protecting her?
Great question.
Yeah.
I don't know why he would have done that because even I think, and then he didn't think it through so much because she was smart because she starts shouting, he knows I didn't do it. And then it's like he's in this weird situation of like, oh, I know she didn't do it. And then even, Caulfield, he feels the same way too. He's like, oh, well, so who is it? Like, so it's this weird little thing.
Yeah, but dude, it shouldn't be weird because it seemed like he had a good relationship with Miss Kitty. And like, I don't know what his relationship was in the first movie, but like they seem to know each other and he's where Lash has been the evil one the entire time. So like, even if Miss Kitty was the one that was guilty, he should have just thrown Lash out.
Wow.
And protected her. He's not a real Marshal anyway. Let's be honest.
That's not the right thing to do. Like, get somebody to get murdered. She was gonna be like executed by Galax Corps. Or
okay, we talked about killing like bad people in some of our movies. Like, it's okay to kill like a Death Wish. As long as they're bad, it's okay. So Lash wasn't a good person. Miss Kitty seemed to, she runs the town. She supplies everybody with some entertainment. She supplies the drinks and beds. You're not gonna protect her?
I guess, but you can't let. He's a man of morals, and even Miss Kitty says that later. He's a man of morals. It's something you should look up to. That's what she said.
All right, I don't know. I think it's an easy. I think it's an easy one.
Plus, it's probably his mom, so you don't want to throw your mom.
Yeah. I think they started that line and then didn't say it or didn't reveal it at the very end. Like she should have like had like a little heart to heart or something. No.
Well, if I'm him, I don't want to know if she's my mom because she runs a whorehouse, and my guess is that she slept with a lot of men. So imagine finding out that 1, that could be your mom, but 2, you're not gonna know who your dad is.
Well, no, he knows his dad is his dad. His dad is
the Marshal in the first one.
Marshal.
It could be his dad, but I mean, if his mom's plays a whore in a whorehouse, it could be any of his dads.
That is true. Yeah.
HOR.
HOR.
HOR. But so then the fight, Jamie kind of mentioned it a little bit before, but it's so ridiculous.
I'm telling you, if you get a chance, just watch the one part of the Native American jumping out of the front door and it's. I'm telling you,
Nowhere
it's not even
near 'em.
close to
Yeah.
landing near the bounty hunter. It
Nowhere
looks so
near.
ridiculous. Nowhere
I'll
near.
find that clip and post it on
You have to.
our
It's
Twitter
ridiculous.
at sequels only for you guys to
It's so
check it out.
ridiculous.
But
The facial expressions too are just so funny. Like they're just so fun. They're so like
They really are awful fighters. I mean,
yeah.
between the Bork's fight and this fight, like they're terrible.
And they're
yeah,
just,
he's like a pacifist.
If you live in the if you live in the town and you're watching this and you're like, all right, so if I get in trouble, the sheriff's gonna go after me. What is he gonna do? They've seen him. They couldn't take. They can't take anyone. Crime should be like going crazy there.
yeah.
yeah,
Who's gonna be
essentially
afraid of him?
he doesn't like to use a gun and he can't fight.
No. Okay.
But
I'd
man,
be
and
more
then-
afraid of Miss Kitty than anyone else.
Yeah.
or even Stell, because she's ready to fire a gun. She shoots right at him, and he uses the magical cane to like pew pew,
Ridiculous.
and then he like lasers or he like messes up her hand from so far away, and yeah, he does some crazy stuff. That's a magic cane. He's magical because I thought he was a robot.
Well,
until he
does
changes-
arrive in he arrives in a spaceship. He's the only one that has a spaceship, so I'm not surprised.
Yeah, but no, the fact that when he changes,
So do you think he's half robot, half monster?
Because his hat gets knocked off.
yeah, no, I thought, oh, dude, when his hat got knocked off, I was thinking like I thought he was a robot. I wrote, was he Frosty the Snowman? Like the hat has the power and it gets knocked off, and then he has no power because he froze.
And
Yeah,
then
that's
he,
what I
makes,
literally froze.
he makes his face like
I thought he was gonna have something hiding under the hat because it's such a big hat that I thought it was like gonna like
Ooh.
either have like some kind of alien head
Yeah.
or something like that.
An
Like
alien
made no sense.
operating him.
No,
Like
in,
something like
that'd
in
be
Men in
good.
Black.
like the green
Yeah.
one,
Yes.
like the green alien in the first one when they're arm wrestling.
I didn't see the first one.
With like the vampire frog that like bites.
Oh yeah,
the-
that was cool.
Oh, that was fucking awesome.
Wait a second. Wait, I did see it because I saw 15 minutes of the
Yeah.
movie
Yeah,
in
you
the
s- oh,
beginning.
yeah,
and
you
they,
saw
and
it.
they showed the frog.
And
Classic.
he's like, aren't you afraid of dying? And he's like, I fear nothing. And then it attacks him.
and then
He's
the
like,
frog jumps on him.
Well, he stares
then-
at the frog first.
and then Gaunt goes, pain in the neck.
Yep.
I loved it. I thought it was so funny.
Gaunt does have a line before we get into the change.
What-
Gaunt has a line when he's very sad, when Marshall's trying to figure out what to do in this situation, and he looks at him and he goes, "Where the hell's the line?" He goes, "What's wrong, Marshall? You look like some of your best friends died. Did they?" And then when he looks back at him, he goes, "No, I just have a He goes, "I'm in such a situation," and he's like, "Oh, too bad."
What he does at the end had me dying. I was not expecting it.
Oh,
and I
yeah.
felt like that could have been improv too, but it was I don't know.
No, classic stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the change when he turns into lizard,
lizard?
man?
Fish, lizard creature.
Fish. Yeah,
Fish.
he kind of looked like a fish.
He had kind of like
Yeah,
a
sort
fish like
of. He had like three noses on top of each other or something,
Oh, yeah.
little horns on top. I don't know.
I don't know what was going on.
Ugh.
It was weird.
The,
And then
the
at
green
that point,
screen behind him, I think you could see part of the screen behind him. Because
Yeah.
when the way that the fish head was, it was
yeah,
like,
yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No, when they did that, when they had to do the transformation, yeah, because they did that old school. Like I did it when I went to like a little film school like 10 years ago. They do like this because even when Catwoman, when she shows up in like a second, she's like, "Take me. It wasn't Lash. She's not the one you want. You want to take me." And you saw them standing next to each other. I was like, one of them isn't there. Like I knew one of them wasn't there. I was kind of shocked that it was her when she was teleported. When she
You
was using,
really
like, a
went
hologram.
deep in this movie because again, I'm taking everything face value and I'm seeing her
Well,
there.
you're
and him there.
rewinding. You're rewinding and double checking.
No, I'm rewinding because something fell off and I thought her wig fell off.
Wig? Rewind. Gotta see it again.
I'm telling you, when you go back, when she's coming out and he slaps her ass as they're walking, something falls off behind her.
Okay. I'll check it out.
Tell me what
I
it
will.
is.
I'll watch
All
it
right.
again.
Uh-oh.
But yeah, no, it's just like, yeah, and then she like holograms away. And then at the same time, Jaguar shows up with his weird army that I guess he has. Because I really thought I don't remember in the first one they ran with like a big crew. I feel like in the first movie it was just Red Eye,
He had a few
Lash,
guys.
and Bork, and maybe another guy. Yeah. But in this
Where'd
one,
they
there's
come
like a
from?
whole army of people.
Where'd
I
they
don't
come
know,
from?
They just at the end of the road, they just
They're
showed
just-
up.
They just turn around a corner and they're all there. Like
Yeah.
again, you would think like maybe you see a spaceship or something. Nothing. So they lived there the whole time. So the brother was there the whole time.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought there was gonna be a twist. I thought it was gonna be him, but we see the brother gets eaten by like a crab monster in the first movie. Good looking throwback, like stop motion animation. Like it looks pretty good.
Yeah, it was very what's the Clash of the Titans.
Yes. No,
Yeah.
really good. But yeah, no, so he gets like ripped apart, so you know it's not him. But in this one,
Okay, it gets
No,
yeah, it was just so,
because that would be so unbelievable that if he would come back in this movie.
it would be. It would be. I just love it's the same actor, just different shirt. And not a red eye.
Is it is it the same actor that was in the first one?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
that bad guy.
Andrew,
Divoff.
Tip-off. Yeah.
So the fact that he's playing a different character, but they brought him back because he's the only one that probably fits the mold of the mask.
Great
That's
mask.
what-
And they were like, don't take those scales off yet. We could still use them. Don't.
Yeah.
So he basically pulled like a Clark Kent. Like he has the red eye in the first one, but he takes the eye off now, and no one recognizes him.
Nobody
Yeah.
recognizes. You look like this
Okay.
fella, James, Billy. You mean Red Eye? No, he's got a
No.
red eye. That can't be him.
Wait, and his name was Red Eye, just because he had
Yeah,
the red
it's
eye.
his
He
nickname.
had the
Yeah.
red patch.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's creative. All right.
But yeah, so then Miss Kitty's like, you're gonna take me in, but you have to catch me if you can. Because she's like, huh? And he goes, ooh, I like a challenge. He's like, oh, what are you gonna chase in your spaceship? He's like, no, where's the fun in that? So he's gonna go on foot. But I love.
But
the
that's where he
line-
gets the robot horse.
Yeah, yeah.
Where'd he get that from?
He had it on his
Because
ship, maybe.
it was standing next to a regular horse.
It was definitely Doc. Doc made that for him. Custom order.
Maybe.
Doc does a lot. He makes an electric whip. He makes an electric the robot horse and then the robot arm.
Well, he's up all night.
Yeah,
He's up all night boozing, so he's like, I got to do something in between.
Yeah. But I did really, I did enjoy Stell. Hate it. She hated my girl. And when she goes, I know what we can do. We can cut her in half vertically and give half to each. Then he's like, we can't do that. And then that's when she does like that make out. Because at first they weren't going to give up. But then once it was like, oh, Miss Kitty's the one they want. Then I know where it's funny because you forget that Jaguar's there. And he's like, so Marshall, how about Lash? And then he's basically like, I guess I have to get rid of her. There's no evidence of anything. So then he has to let her go, and she just like walks out, but not before like a little makeout thing.
That
Ugh.
was weird. That
Well-
that close up into that kiss and was like,
Well, but she
Ugh.
hooked up with his brother, right? In the first one? Because she
Yes.
says like, do you
Oh,
last
yeah.
as long as your brother?
oh,
And he's like, he made a comment like, no, longer
Yeah,
or something.
Yeah,
Like
she's like, does your species last as long as your and then he goes longer. And she's like,
we exceeded.
"Ugh."
but
Yeah, we
he also
see-
seemed afraid when she was like hitting on him in the bedroom. Like he seemed kind of nervous.
Well, she probably heard from Bork that she cuts off penises.
Yeah.
That is true. I mean, like not for nothing. You hear that once. I mean, that should be the loneliest woman in the world. If any woman that cuts it off, you have to have a lot of guts as a guy to go to that woman
He's
Lorena
like,
no way.
Bobbitt, how did she ever find a date ever again?
ever again.
probably
No.
Tinder,
And she's married, I think. Well,
Tinder or Bumble.
because it takes one little thing that's gonna set her off,
One
and you're
little
gonna
thing?
wake up in the middle.
One
Of the night. What?
And that's
Uh,
why John, you got to cut off.
Yeah,
Okay. All right.
You go to her house like with her new husband. It's like, yeah, how are you gonna cut the steak? We have no knives in this house. We just have forks and spoons. We eat a lot of soup.
we have a lot
Nothing
of
that
we,
needs knives.
we have a lot of sporks in this house. We only use
No,
Or
sporks.
even a spork, I wouldn't. even a fork, I wouldn't trust. I could see her like stabbing it and then
Oh,
trying to,
yeah. Spoon. I guess a spoon's the way to go. But I guess you
Yeah,
could
I
fashion
would say
a spoon.
spoon.
You could probably sharpen a spoon.
Or we just eat with our hands in this house.
That's
Yeah.
true. yeah.
it's only handhelds.
That's it. Only in
Burgers
But no,
and sandwiches.
So now we're talking about them, even though it's a scene that's separate for the rest of the movie. But how about when they're fooling around? Like their dirty talk is like, yeah, I was gonna as soon as I got the what did she say? as soon as I got the money from you. Oh yeah, because he goes, I'll give you at first he goes, I was gonna give you a little cut, but I'll give you even more for the draconian mine. And then when they're hooking up, she goes, I was gonna kill you as soon as I got the money. He's like, I was gonna kill you as soon as I got the map.
So dumb.
And he goes, just don't rub my scales the wrong way.
Oh yes.
and then she started petting his head.
Yeah.
So I
don't think he was talking about those scales.
That's
and her
what scales do you think
line
he
to
was
her
talking
was,
about?
On his penis beetle.
But no, how about when he goes, your skin is so disgustingly smooth.
So dumb.
Talk about some dirty talk, man. But then then cut to when she's running away. So now, I think it was silly. How about the marshal who hasn't done this job this long, but he knows the rules of when bounty hunters are looking, that they have to take the local law enforcement, because he pulls out page 147 of the manual, and then Sweeney has to take him with him. So now they're both looking for Catwoman, and she happens to be going to, I guess, the only other set on this movie. They couldn't go somewhere
I was going
else.
to say, how far do you think that cave is that they needed a map to get there? There's nothing else around. Like, it doesn't seem that difficult to find.
Yeah.
And they get there pretty
giant quick. Mound.
It's probably like it's literally in the middle of nowhere, and it probably took them very short. Like, maybe that's why it's such a short map.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So they shot this movie in Romania, right?
Yes.
That looks nothing like. I mean, I don't know what Romania looks like, but that looks like.
Wait. Whoa. Did you hear what you just said?
What?
You just said they shot this in Romania. Pause. I don't know what Romania looks like, but
it's not.
Wait, so you don't think there's a old western town and a desert in Romania? Or caves?
Maybe in Western Romania. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I'm thinking of
odd climate. Like, I don't know what you think of. I wouldn't even guess what I thought of Romania. Just like cold, like almost like Eastern.
Well,
Europe.
considering the set looks like it's made of styrofoam, I don't think anything
it's
based
still
in this
holding
movie
up.
Barely. I mean, literally every time, like I said, every time they walk or anywhere, it looks like something's shaking.
Yeah.
So then they finally get up to find her, and they don't even find her at first. All he has is like a tracking thing, which is kind of silly. And I know you were mentioning Doc Valentine. How about his stupid invention that he was using in the cave? It was like a circular tube, and I don't even know what it did.
I don't think they knew what it did.
Yeah. No, not at all. But then at the same time, like, they guess that she's going to be in there when we see that she's in there. Like, we see her in there making the line. At first, it looks like she's pouring gunpowder.
Wait a
second.
second.
Then there's a fuse at the end.
How'd they all get there without the map?
Well, I don't think they're looking for it as a draconian mine. She's just hiding.
No, I know that, but I mean, they found. Okay, Miss Kitty found it.
Yeah. How did she find it?
How did she find it? That Lash needed to cut this guy's junk off to find out where to go, but somehow Miss Kitty doesn't have the map because
did she leave it?
As far as we know, Lash has the map in her wallet.
Okay. Well, I can tell you. I can answer your question pretty easily. Maybe he was a frequent customer, and she was. And that was her client.
Oh, so she already saw the map. Okay. Yeah. So was he also a customer for the sheriff and bounty hunter? Because they found it.
Maybe.
Yeah.
All right. Because again, I mean, they made a big deal about getting this map.
Yeah.
Yet everybody knows how to get there without the map.
Yeah, everybody knew. Well, it's funny. That is funny. To me, it's just like they didn't have another set to use, and that was away from the town, so they had to use that. But it was silly that they ended up going there. Of all places that they go,
everybody got there without the map. The only one that needed a map was Lash. No one else needed a map.
Maybe it was just the next thing over.
Maybe
it was really like you walked out of the gates. It's like, hey, there it is.
Like there's not like it's like desert. Hey, what's that giant rock giant mound over there? Huh.
Well, then to answer your question earlier, I'm assuming then the map was tattooed at not full attention because you didn't need a lot of space.
He didn't.
Yeah.
If it's the next town over, it's gonna be a short map.
Oblivion is not that big of a town. It's a small town.
But the fact that she's like, she in her head, even though she can teleport and everything, she could probably teleport back and know where everybody is. Well, not teleport, hologram herself. Well, yes, she's sort of teleporting. She's hologramming, seeing everything. I'm guessing her conscious can tell her what she's seeing. But the fact that she doesn't know that Marshall is with her, with Sweeney, she's setting up to blow the whole place up. So she's gonna murder this guy who's just doing his job.
Wait,
essentially.
why is she blowing up the cave?
Well, she's trying to
get the
set a booby trap in order to catch Sweeney in there to blow him up. That's why she turns his cave. Then at first, which I hear the dumbest line I ever heard in a movie when it comes to natural gas, when she pokes the wall and we hear the sound of air, and all he says later is, "It's natural gas, nothing to worry about it unless there's a spark." And I'm like, yeah, you should worry about that. Like that could happen just by walking.
And what did she use to light? I mean, was just the gas from the okay? So the gas that she was using was stomach acid.
Oh, was that it? Was that
so? Was that the gas from?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or
okay.
nothing.
So,
no, it was maybe in the anus.
I was gonna say so now when she poked the side, that was the gas coming from the cave.
Wow, I didn't even think of that.
That's good. See, look, you're looking into it. You're looking
next level, dude.
Yeah.
You're peeling
all the
layers.
Like
an onion. This movie's an onion,
and
you're peeling the layers, man.
It stinks.
You're
It doesn't explain why a little turtle's in there, but you know that's
the little turtle very confusing because I don't think a little turtle would just be wandering inside. And I don't know how you could walk inside of.
Again,
maybe
that whole cave thing
into
makes no sense. That like, were they inside the stomach? Like what are they inside of?
The butt. Maybe they're in the butt. It's a hole.
Well, did it smell in there? Because they didn't seem like it smelled in there.
Well, they smelled something when they smelled the gas.
Well, she made a leak. That's all right.
Well, it doesn't eat. It hasn't moved. Whatever.
It looks like it's never moved.
No.
Okay, let's be honest. When we do see it move, it was like the biggest thing ever because they look like ants. Like, I mean, there's no way that cave was that big when they went there.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah, but then so it's so funny. And then now thinking about it again, there's another thing I have questions about. So when they're in the cave and at the same time Miss Kitty is trying to light that fuse to do the gunpowder to basically blow the place up. Because I don't think she even knows what it is. She really can't know what it is. But when they're falling into the water, which is that stomach acid, I don't know. They say something's grabbing me.
Oh yeah. So
What's in there?
he goes, "Something's eating me alive."
But both of them came out
With nothing.
unharmed.
Yeah.
I thought the bounty hunter was gonna come out like with a missing leg or something, like all like
Yeah, that
nothing.
would have done something.
Nothing. So like what was in there? Considering they're inside his butt or stomach, what was in that water? Because they don't even show it, and they really never address it again.
No.
Like he gets attacked, then the sheriff gets attacked,
yeah.
but they don't show what it is, and they come out fine.
They do come
Yeah.
out pretty fine. Yeah.
Yeah. There's no injuries or
Okay.
But when she does hear the marshal, she runs back in. Once she has a lighter that has no, it's out. It's like that Bic lighter. You can, whenever you're looking for a lighter, the one that doesn't work, she's trying to light it over and over, like 20 times. And then she finally lights it. She leaves the cave thinking like, I'm going to kill this bounty hunter, which again, I think is still terrible. She did terrible things. Like she admitted to the terrible things that she did to Sweeney.
Oh, so she should just turn herself
to
in?
stone.
Yeah, she should.
Nah.
No, let's murder this guy. Get ready to blow him up. And then she hears Marshall and she goes, oh no. She runs in, stomps it out, fine for a second. Then obviously it catches again. But at that same time is when the Marshall's in the water and the cave starts dropping.
Yeah.
And at that very time, because the flames are going around because everything kicked back up.
So why is the cave dropping?
Is that the butt expanding? The stomach
That's
expanding? Something
that's
is
the-
expanding. Is there thorns on the stomach? That
They're not. They don't explain. Like they really. I don't think they understood what they were doing with this because it just makes no sense.
or was the so again, let's just talk about it. So what it is, somehow they're either inside or they're underneath a giant turtle. Because now I'm thinking, is that the stomach of the turtle that is compressing down, or are they inside the turtle?
Well, the whole.
I thought the hole was the.
So the cave, they walk in. That I mean, if anything, that does look like a butthole.
It does
They
look
keep
like
coming in
butthole.
and
No,
out.
I know.
It's like
So,
the
yeah, I
crack
mean-
and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but again, why would there be a little turtle in there
Yeah.
living
That makes
inside?
That's the
sense.
living
weirdest thing.
inside this big turtle. And like I said, this turtle is massive. Like, you know, when it moves, you know, you're thinking like, all right, you know, it's going to be, you know, like a rock monster or something. No, they literally look like ants when they're running away.
Yeah.
Oh,
they're-
and
yeah.
and the turtle moves so fast because it catches up to them and seemingly crushes all the bad people without us knowing.
One step, you know, I mean, the size of the turtle, it's gonna reach them.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to go that fast.
But oh my god, dude! When he uses so Sweeney uses his magic cane that's holding and stopping it, like in Star Wars, like they're able to stop like the trash that compactor. In this, they're able to like stop this like the ceiling that's all spiked out from crashing down by the cane. You know, Miss Kitty comes in, she's pulling them out, and she goes, "You go," and she goes, "My son," and then I forget what she says instead.
What do you think she was trying to say?
Son?
I know. I was just kidding.
But why not? But why not really address it? But I'm saying, but why not really address it?
Because I think they were leaving it for the third, for the trilogy.
Oh, fuck! I would love that.
Because I mean, doesn't the movie kind of end with her?
Yeah, it does.
It does. Her, yeah.
Right. So I think they were trying to lead like that would be the third story, which thank goodness they didn't make.
Well, they wanted to, but apparently things didn't work out with Paramount.
Apparently, no one watched the first one, so they're like, you know what? Why would we make
the
a third
first
one?
one's like a huge. It's so funny when you search this movie, even on Tubi. It's so funny. All the big Elvira did an episode on it. Shatner had some like half-ass kind of trying to be like Elvira kind of thing. Riff Tracks did it. Like all the people did it. We did it. So maybe we'll be on Tubi or something. But no, it is. It is. It's what it is. It's a campy movie. But no, the fact that we see that turtle, like I don't know where that giant turtle comes out of nowhere. She says, "My sister," and then she falls into it. They run out. The place explodes like underneath the turtle, and then that's when it starts moving. And you're like, "What the? How the hell does that happen?"
How does it happen? And like, I want more. I want more of a story with this turtle.
I know
Like,
you do. Yeah.
are
a
there-
spin-off
spin-off.
movie of the turtle.
And then I could watch it. Then, like, you know, that turtle was the size of the Godzilla turtle,
Yeah.
Gamera.
Gamera,
Like
yeah.
that's what the turtle looked like. You know, like that's what it should have been. You know, like, is there another turtle? Like, was that his baby, the little turtle?
Do you imagine that little turtle turned into that?
Well, it wouldn't turn to anything because Lash tosses it aside. So
Nick's always in the movies when our actors or actresses like hit animals. Like when
Yeah.
when
Oh.
Don Fauntleroy's wife
Kicks the
kicked the
dog.
dog and Munchie shows up.
Oh, that poor dog. She punted.
Rough
She
stuff.
punted that. She punted that thing.
She did. But then, so the end of the movie, we get the Sweeney. He's leaving, and he's like, "How about a kiss?" And she goes, and Zach goes, "Nope, she's with me." And then we do they make out. I'm telling you, if you watch that again, the fact that Mateo takes his hat off to be like, "Bro, I got you."
listen, that was a deep makeout. They were
Yeah, it
going at it.
They were into it. They were. And
So
what
do you
did,
think Lash
yeah.
is hooking up with the green guy still?
Oh yeah.
Oh, wasn't that weird the way that cut? Well, I think they died.
No, they
We saw
died.
them
They
going
died with
up
the turtle.
to the turtle. The turtle ran
Who
them
does?
over.
The turtle.
Lash died too?
Yeah, she
And the
was there.
army. Well, they assume that because they're
They
like,
crushed-
"Oh, it's coming towards us."
Yeah.
And then we see a far shot and we hear like a sound, but
Oh, we forgot the dick joke.
hopefully not.
They made a dick joke earlier in the movie with them, with the mother loads, and he's like, we're gonna get the mother loads of all mother loads, and then it's like, yep, it's all coming to us.
Really?
Yeah,
I don't remember that.
the green guy says, yeah, it's all because she's like, we're gonna hit the mother loads of all mother loads, and then the green guy goes, and it's all coming to us. I was like,
I did not catch that.
did they just
Was
make
that
it?
during their dirty talk of murdering each other?
No, that's when they were going towards like what they thought was like the treasure turtle thing, with the turtle.
Oh, when they were going there? Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I
I was probably still so blown away by everything that was transpiring in that cave. But no, that's good. That's
that
good.
was pretty funny.
But,
I just thought it was funny.
God. So then when they're doing the funeral, they're doing a funeral, and then who walks up at the funeral? Miss Kitty walks up. They go, how did you know them? Again, why wouldn't the friggin' Lurch knows her? And the fact that he's like, how do you know the deceased? Or how well do you know the deceased? Very well. And turns around. And dude, George Takei crushes this scene. Tarnation. And I love how you could add like a long ass scene. I think that's what's funny about with Sam. Sam obviously has a hand in the writing a little bit, I'm sure, like on set when it comes to it. But I love he goes, for once and for all, you're going to have to stand there and you're going to have to tell us the truth about what happened to you. And she goes, free drinks at my place for everybody. And he goes, all right. And then everybody leaves.
That's what I mean. Miss Kitty is like the town. Like without her,
She's like the mafia.
nothing. Yeah. So, and she said something about 9 lives, right?
She does.
Yeah.
Yeah, she referenced that. Because it's funny because I mentioned that. I'm like, 9 lives are over. Because I thought she was going to say that. Because every time her and Sweeney went back and forth talking, even in the cave or before, it was like cat and mouse game. Like they kept saying those lines. But, and then we see Gaunt when he says, I canceled bingo. And it's Thursday. I know you'll make it up to me.
Yeah, that's the scene where at the end when she's like, oh, I don't know like how I'll be able to, and he pats her on the butt and he goes, you'll find a way to make it up to me, and then he like walks out smiling. I was like,
a lot of ass improv in this movie.
a lot of ass work in this.
Is that
movie.
okay?
Yeah, a lot of And I'm wondering, I'm like,
so what'd you think about that scene? Sometimes when I really need to change a scene, I just smack the person in the ass. I add that little flavor to it.
Get that natural reaction.
And then Mateo and Stell are dating now because they leave like together, like hand in hand. You're like, okay, this is it.
Oh,
and then
boom,
and then Julie Newmar with the last line, sweet mystery, and that's literally all it is. And I'm like, wait, huh?
they're setting up the third one.
Yeah.
The Oblivion universe, man, bring it back. No, I do. But again, I think the one thing, again, that was Oblivion too. The thing that I love about these type of movies is obviously when you watch a movie, you like have to be transported like into that time to think about what influenced it. And again, this is like so Twin Peaks. Like I could have seen a show like this, like it's set up like a series. Even when you're watching it,
It
like, they
is.
have
It's
the
a
two
sci-fi
movies.
series.
Yeah, but when you're watching it, like even though this is an hour and 40 minutes, the first one's I think 90 minutes. When you're watching them, you're like, it's episodic. Like you're seeing these things. You can.
Well,
see them
it's really
cut.
an hour and 30 minutes. We spent 12 minutes of watching the first
one,
movie,
and the credits
and the
are
credits.
10 minutes long. Yeah.
Yeah. So you know what? You're right. So now we're down like to an hour and 15.
But if there's any movie that's right for a remake, this would be it, because it had very like it almost was like a very super low budget like Guardians of the Galaxy, like it had that kind of like vibe almost.
Oh.
But like
this had like a Power Rangers / I was waiting for Sergeant Kabuki to come in.
But like
this
Sergeant
is
Kabuki, man.
like I could see I could see Chris Pratt playing Zack Stone, like no joke, right away.
Okay.
This is the Surreal Life cast. He's not playing anything in this movie. This is you're getting Ian Ziering and you're getting maybe one of the kids from American Pie, Jason Biggs,
Tara Reid.
Tara Reid isn't made for her easily. So yeah, no,
she plays Lash.
Oh.
So let's go with our guest first. Nick, would you recommend somebody to watch Oblivion 2 Backlash?
For
Lash. Lash.
Lash.
Backlash.
Did we just have a Rip Torn moment?
Not close, but in a second, I really just said that slow, and I'm like, backlash.
I didn't get it either until just now. Yeah, I would probably recommend it just for the just for the sheer fact of like what is like that someone could have like made this, that it's a completely original idea, a script, if there was a script, just to see an original, completely original thing, and it's like somebody, I don't know, got some money and was like, let me make this, and they were like, hey, Isaac Hayes, George Takei, you want to be in my movie? I would recommend it. Yeah, sure, why not? It's a good movie. It's a good like Friday night, hang out with your friends, get stoned to movie. Like,
this is one of those movies. Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
Jamie?
no. Absolutely. There's no reason to watch this movie. And listen, if this is your idea of a hanging out with your friends to get stoned and watch this, there's plenty of other things you can watch that you'll enjoy more than this. This is, I guarantee you, within 5 minutes, everybody's getting bored.
Yeah, but you're not talking about penis beetle bar while watching The Godfather.
No, I get it, but again, I think the campiness of Sharknado was better than the campiness in this. This just seemed like a dress rehearsal for Sharknado.
Okay.
Ouch.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say no. This absolutely, there's no need. There's no need.
Well, of course, I'm going to say you got to check it out. It's free on Tubi if you haven't checked it out. And
again,
it's also-
when a
and,
movie's free, there's a reason why it's free.
It's also on Amazon too.
no, there's
That's
a
where I
lot of
watched-
great movies on Tubi. Oh, you watch it on Amazon?
yeah.
See?
Yeah, you pay for it?
No, hell no. It was free. It was free.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah, I watched it on Amazon Prime.
Okay.
All right, Nick, thanks for coming back for another great movie. I'll make sure the next one is even better. We promise you, we're trying to.
Well, I got
fun.
news to you. You know, that should be pretty easy.
Yeah, it's the bar's been set pretty low. So I mean, how much? I don't even want to ask how much lower we can go because there probably
Oh,
is.
I'll find something.
You'll probably
find
crowdsource.
something.
You'll probably crowdsource another Munchie movie just so we have the chance to talk about it. Yeah.
We need to find a movie that's 0 rating on Rotten Tomatoes. We need to find a sequel that's 0.
Okay.
Because I want to find that one movie that's lower than The Mask. Because I think the Son of the Mask was like 7. Wasn't it something like that? Like really
No,
low?
we covered one that was less.
We did?
I thought there was one that was like 5 or something.
I want a 0. I want a 0
What's
Rotten
Caddyshack
Tomato
2?
score.
Wait,
Caddyshack 2, not lower?
wasn't Exorcist
I thought
2?
The Mask was the lowest one.
Exorcist 2 was like super low, right? But it wasn't lower than.
I think the bar is The Mask. We didn't do too many that less than that one, but
Wow.
we got to find a 0. I want to see
got
what's considered a 0.
We got some homework for you, Nick. But yeah,
All right.
thanks again, man. Always appreciate it. And yeah, so next we're bringing back another one of our guests that I think this might be his 8th or 9th time. He's our horror sequel expert, Chris Egan. And we're covering a franchise that super popular. And it's like one of those, it was during that resurgence of horror in the 90s. So like the Screams, I know you did last summer, and Final Destination. Jeffrey Reddick, our guest, he was a writer of the first one, and he wrote the second one. He has stories about, obviously, the first movie, they changed the script a little bit, is they changed it from adults to high school because that's what was in at the time. And obviously, Devon Sawa was in that movie, Ali Larder, so many others. But the second one is the one that really had his fingerprints on it. And his story was great. He grew up in Kentucky, small town. He was in love with the first Nightmare on Elm Street. He actually wrote a prequel in 1985, mailed it to Bob Shea. Bob Shea mailed it back and said, hey, this is unsolicited. We can't read it. And then he mailed it back. He was so ballsy at a young age, like wanting to do it. And he was like, come on, man, I rented your movie. Please read it. So Bob Shea read it. They formed like this friendship. So Bob would send him scripts to read, movie posters, you name it. And then within 10 years after he went to school, he's working at New Line in New York City. So then that is the connection, kind of the way Final Destination got made. Like he was working in marketing when this movie got made. So great stories from his career. He started as an actor, and people basically, said the harsh reality that movies were in the, for people of color in like the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s, that, hey, we're not casting for roles for you. So then that's when he rechanged. He started getting to writing again, like he was when he was a kid. And then obviously he has a franchise that he's getting paid every time they make a new one. And there's a new one coming out later this year. He was just consulted on what to do. And yeah, Jeffrey was a blast to talk to. So you're going to love hearing his story. Really cool guy. The way Final Destination was made, the story of that should be a documentary. The beginning to the end, lots of fun. But yeah, so don't forget to review, rate, share our podcast. Follow us on all social media at Sequels Only. And don't forget to check out our website, sequelsonly.com. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.